Welcome to the Belief Work Burnout Workshop. So today we're going to be talking about burnout. Burnout is exceptionally important to me because I've experienced it countless times. And when it comes towards burnout, we could think that it's just about scheduling and just rest. My apologies, but it also starts up here. It starts with how we think. It starts with how we perceive what restored looks like. And I'm going to go into a little bit about restoring ourselves too, right? Because we could oftentimes not recognize these signs that we are burnt out. And then, lo and behold, bit by bit, we realize that we've been burnt out without even knowing, because being burned out shows differently for everyone. It's not a one size fits all. Sometimes it just shows very differently. So we're going to go through the signs. So first things first, before we go any further, this is a safe space, okay? What you see here, you stays here. It's important that you feel that you are respectable and that you are kind to one another. That is numero uno. Um, Please just, show us a sense of respect for one another and be kind and compassionate. So, what are some of the factors of when it comes towards burnout? Let's talk about the too many hats that we wear, thinking that we have to do everything, thinking that we have to not delegate and it has to be in our hands. The work life imbalance. You don't even have a work life balance in itself. We have an imbalance. Let's talk about the do it all, thinking again that we have to do everything, that it's all in our hands and nobody else can do it, right? Lack of support. Maybe you're taking care of a dependent or some family members that are aging and you don't really have all the support you have in the world. Let's get into noticing it, noticing what burnout really looks like. You'll feel tired, but more like you would still, you'll have a good 8 hours sleep, but you're still waking up feeling exhausted. You go to bed exhausted, you wake up exhausted, you're not feeling restored. And I want you to remember that word restored, because there's obviously a word in restored, which is rest. So we're really going to get into that a little bit. You're snapping far more quickly now. You're easily to get upset. You're feeling numb, not much of a feeling, not much of energy in any way, shape, or form. You're just not where you thought you were before. You're not feeling where you once were. The things that used to light up your day, the things that you look forward to, the habits, the exercises, the groups, the meetups, no longer feel like you even want to do it. You no longer feel like you want to do it. You're just more like getting through it just to get through it. And this is like the mode that you are in majority of the time. You don't feel like you anymore. You feel like you're just going through the motions because you know that you have to. You look great from the outside, but internally you are upset. You're feeling drained. You're not feeling like yourself. You're struggling internally. So what causes this? Well, for one, overcommitment. Remember that word, do it all, that statement in the beginning. Do it all, feeling like you have to do it all and you're overcommitting. Your plate is far too full and you feel as if you have to do everything. Well, the truth of the matter is you could actually delegate some of it, right? Let's talk about lack of boundaries. Not just boundaries that you have with others, but boundaries that we actually have and create with yourself, non-negotiables that you create with yourselves. And having the sense of thinking everything needs to be perfect. If it's not perfect, it's not right. See, here's the thing. I said it before. Burnout often begins in the mind, not so much of your schedule. It starts here, right? So I want to do a quick reflection exercise with you. I want you to ask yourself, what situations make you feel overwhelmed in this chapter? If I can give a bit of share, a bit of a personal experience of what makes me feel overwhelmed sometimes, is when it comes towards just the balance of the work life and business life, handling that. Sometimes I get overwhelmed and I have to remind myself that I need to take a step back. I need to regulate my emotions, regulate my feelings. Maybe I just need to restore myself. And again, I want you to remember that word, restore. And what do you often say yes to when you want to say no? Saying no is your superpower. Believe it or not. Oftentimes it's difficult for us to say, whether it's cultural, whether it's the way we've been brought up, whether it's the environment. Some people may see no as disrespect, but no is not disrespect. No is you honoring yourself. Saying yes when you want to say no is a sign of disrespect to yourself. No is a word that I want you to get used to using. Not in the context you're going to say no to everything, but in the context of where you're protecting yourself. I want you to think about the time when we were kids. And you may have used the word no repeatedly because you just learned the word no. I don't want vegetables. No. Do you want this? No. And sometimes you don't even know that as a child, as a young little baby or a toddler, you're saying no when you haven't even tried it. You know what I mean? But we need to kind of take back a power of that a little bit. The word no can be your best friend when it comes towards protecting yourself, when it comes towards the boundaries you need to set. The word no is far more powerful than we think. And we're afraid to use it sometimes because we're afraid of how others may perceive us. But personally, I had to restore my likeness of using the word no because I felt that sense of being burnt out far too often. So I want you to think about that. Let's talk about strategies to break the cycle of burnout. So I want you to think of three things and three non negotiables that you could restore you, not just in output, right? Maybe it's you wake up without your phone, which I know is difficult for a lot of us. Me personally, I'm working on that. My alarm is my phone, and the minute I turn it off, I'm answering emails, messages that I've missed because my phone's on do not disturb. 3 minutes of breath work. This is so important. In fact, we're going to pause right now. We're going to take 3 deep breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. Sigh it out. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Just by you doing breath work sometimes and just focusing on your breathing and doing breathing techniques could, and I don't mean doing it just when you're in the midst of feeling the symptoms of burnout, but also when you are doing it as maintenance and preventing it from happening. That is maintenance. That is your prescription in many ways. Morning music and movement. I'm a person who works out in the morning. I may work out in silence, or I may work out with music, or I'm dancing in my kitchen while I'm making breakfast or coffee. These are all good ways for you to just center yourself and put yourself as a priority. Another strategy you can use is start taking an audit. What are the things each week? Write one thing down that is draining you. People, environments, platforms, even habits, and write down one thing that gives you energy. It's good to identify the stuff that's draining you, and it's good to identify the stuff that gives you energy so that you could you know how to shift it. Now if we have something that's draining us, okay, we're aware. Let's pour more energy into the things that give us energy, that gives us positive vibes, that give us like a good feeling. Let's pour more into that. And another strategy is ask yourself daily, what does success look like? This is really good journal prompt. If you're not a massive person who likes to journal, that's okay. But what does success look like for you? I want you to take a second and think about success. Oftentimes when we think about success, we think about the money aspect. We think about having the car, having the house, these monetary value. Success could be different for everyone. Success could be you working out 3 to 4 times a week. Success could be you reading a book for a month. Success to you is maybe waking up 30 minutes early so you can have your coffee in silence without anyone bothering you once a week. Success could be to you making sure that you're restoring yourself, making sure that you're resting, making sure that you're getting a good night rest. Success doesn't have to be just a monetary value. It doesn't have to be just surrounding around money. Success could just be whatever is important to you. So it's good and important to figure out, what does success look like to me? And not just what it looked like to you before. What does it look like to you in this chapter of your life? Because it could be completely different than what it looked like to you maybe 3, 4 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. So ask yourself, what does success look like to me today? And another strategy, who will support you? Who are the people that are going to hold you accountable? Who are the people that are going to, like, you could trust, that will call you out? I could personally say that I have about a good handful. I like to keep a good hand of people that will call me out, whether it's my partner, my parents, my family, my friends, my mentors. they will call me out. And I have made it very clear. If you notice me doing something out of pocket, tell me. So who is going to hold you accountable? Your therapist, a coach like myself, a friend, a partner, a husband, a wife, whatever. Who is going to be your accountability buddy? Who is going to say, remember you told me about that goal, or maybe that habit you told me that you're going to try to shake? You're actually doing the opposite. So it's good to have one of those. So I want you to think about scripts. Like I said, no is going to become your best new word because it allows you to honor yourself. So if someone asks you for something and you straight up, your plate is full, you can't do it. Just say, you know what, unfortunately, I can't help you right now. And I know from our Caribbean people, this is not always going to work, especially if you have elder parents, but they got to get with the program. It is what it is. Like, I can't do it on this day, but what I can do, I could do it on this one or next month or next week or whatever. Could we talk about it another time? Could we revisit it? It's just practicing that. And you could do that in the mirror because you're going to come up with those type of situations no matter what we do. So it's important that you take a step back and you can practice that so that you know when it comes, it doesn't feel too uncomfortable. It feels more of a, okay, I've done this before. Now, remember I said the word restored. The reason why I think the word restored is so important because rest is your jam. Moving forward, when it comes towards burnout, rest and you are going to be tight. Like, you guys, rest is going to be your thing and you're going to incorporate it in your schedule. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think, even if it's just 30 minutes of you staying still on your couch or in your bed, or if you have a closet. I know some people turn a closet or a room into their rest room or whatever they got to do. If it means you got to take a bath in the middle of the afternoon on one of your off days just to feel zen and restoring yourself back and being intentional about that moment of restoration, then do it. So this acronym here is what's going to, like, I want you to remember this. You could screenshot this. I hope you save this and you send this to somebody else that is going through a sense of burnout and experiencing a sense of burnout and needs to feel restored. So recognize the signs of burnout: fatigue, detachment, feeling overwhelmed. E, evaluate your energy, your leaks, your boundaries, emotional load. S, slow down and give yourself permission to pause. Emphasis on give yourself permission to pause. T, tend to your body, your mind, yourself, and your nervous system. O, own your needs without feeling any guilt or any sense of apology. R, rebuild sustainable habits and rhythms. E, engage in joy, rest, and supportive relationships. And D, dedicate yourself to balance, not just productivity. That last one is so important. We think productivity, especially if you're in the personal growth and self-improvement, it could become extremely so much and you could consume so much that you forget that it's a balance in all of it. It's not just about productivity, and constantly being doing something. If you are not resting, you're not going to be able to show up the way you want to. The moment of rest is still productivity. I'm going to say that again. Your moment of rest is still productivity. You need those moments because if a well is run dry, it can't produce anything to give water to nobody. So if you are completely draining yourself day in and day out, you can't give to anyone. So when you really remember this one, dedicate yourself to balance and not just productivity. So I want you to close down your eyes. We're going to do a guided visualization. I invite you to close down your eyes. You don't have to, but I invite you to. I want you to picture yourself a year from now, living in your truth without burnout. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What are you doing? How does it feel? If you can name it to yourself, 10 things that you're doing. What does it entail, that life that you have when you're living your truth without any burnout? And you're taking the moments to maintain, to be in the presence, to restore yourself. And you're not just doing it when you feel burnt out, you're doing it, or when the symptoms of burnout comes up, you're doing it as preventative measure. You're taking the natural path prescription before the doctor prescription. How does it feel? How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? And if you don't feel comfortable doing the guided visualization, that's okay. You can write it out. You can do a voice note. Okay. I want you to write yourself a message, your future self a message 1 year from now. Right from that future self to your current self. What would they be telling you to do? What habits would they be telling you to start entailing? What are some of the steps that they have made that you can make right now in the moment with what you got? You see, burnout and growth and all of this, we think we need to constantly have things. The truth is, you just need to have yourself, and you need to know in your mind that you want to do better and you want better for yourself. That is literally it. You can start from right where you are. That is the best part about self-improvement. You get to start from right where you are. And I don't know about you, the fact that you don't have to, extend yourself even more, but you can just be where you are in the present and then grow from that. That means more to me than anything. So I want you to make a personal commitment with yourself. Write an actionable change that you'll make this week. For example, I'll schedule my workout to end my work day, to end at 6 p.m. daily. Or I will wake up 20 minutes early just so I can enjoy my cup of coffee in silence. Or I'm going to go for a walk while the weather is still good, maybe just around the block every morning after I drop off the kids, or during my lunch break at work, or during my last break at work, whatever the case is that you want to make that commitment for. And what are you walking away with today? Whether you're in the live of this workshop or you're watching this after the fact, in the comments, what are you walking away with today? What are some of the things that you are walking away with today? I would say for me personally is the word restored. How important in the word restored literally has the action we should be doing more and more, which is rest. That step is so crucial. And if you were to talk to me maybe, let's say 5 years from ago, I would say, yeah, whatever. Yeah, rest. Okay. Yeah. I got to build my business. I'm doing this. And now I'm more in tune with the word rest and restoring and restoration more than anything, because I understand the power of it. I've had such an amazing year of 2025 from not just doing the work, but also resting in between so that I can do the work and I can show up and do workshops like this in a sense of peace and joy and love and compassion and kindness, but not running on empty in my cup, running on full. That's just the difference. So let's remember that word, restored. And if you have any Q&As, you could put it inside the question there. And that's it. Thank you. Honestly, I appreciate you all tapping into this workshop. If you have any questions, any comments, anything at all, you can email me at the email right there. Check out my YouTube podcast, the Dope Life Podcast. I'm on the road for 20,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, and I'm close to there. I'm close to there. I have nothing but faith that it will happen. I truly hope that you guys enjoy this workshop. And if you have any questions, by all means, you can go ahead and ask.